Hi, this video is to tell you about CAT score versus percentile. Now, when you say CAT score, there are different kind of scores: raw score, scale score. So let's try to understand the different concepts of scores and percentile, and try to figure out for CAT 23 what were the different scores and percentiles for different sections, for maths, for verbal, overall, etc. So let's try to understand first score. Raw score is when you go to write the examination, the score that you get, okay, score that a candidate obtains is the raw score. So you get a raw score for maths, you get a raw score for DLR, you get a raw score for verbal. So these are raw scores that you get, and you can maybe add it up to get an overall raw score. Now for each section, they try to find a scale score. What is scale score? It's basically adjusted score, adjusted to your difficulty level. For example, in the there will be math section for slot 1, slot 2, slot 3. See, your slot has a little tougher paper. That means people in a slot have scored slightly lower marks. You should not, basically what they do is they slightly increase the marks. That's called normalization. And any slot that has an easier paper where people have scored higher marks on an average, they'll try to reduce their marks to slightly extent. There's a process or a formula which is there with which they do the whole scaling process. So, and that from that you get a scale score. The idea is to normalize. You should not have a problem because your paper was tougher. So they try to normalize across sections so that they can compare marks for different sections. Looking at a different level of a paper. So that's called the adjusted score. So if your paper is difficult or the average score in your batch or in your slot was lower as compared to other slot, your scores will be adjusted upwards. And if your average score in your batch was higher than the other slots, then your scores will be adjusted lower. Okay, so basically difficult level across different slots. Okay, basically ensuring fairness. Percentile. Now, once they get a scale score, based on a scale score, they calculate the percentile. Technically speaking, it is proportional to students who are scored below you. Okay, who have scored below specific individual. So if you are at 90% with a percentile, which means 90% of students have scored below you. Okay, lower than you. That is what a percentile basically means. Let's try to further understand. How is percentile calculated? This is a calculation. If there are 3 lakh students who written the examination and you got a rank of 3000, the formula becomes 1 minus 3000 upon 3 lakh into 100, which is 99 percentile. So technically 3 lakh people have written the exam. So if you're 3000 rank person, you're a 99 percentile. So anything in 1 to 3000 rankers are in the top 99 percentile batch. So okay, that's how it's calculated. Now if you want to look at percentiles, for example, overall, if you look at CAT 23, a 99.99 percentile, 118.67 marks person who got, 100, 142.9, and so on. So you look at different percentiles. For example, 99 percentile, a person with 76.02 scored 99 percentile. Now if you look at the difference between 99 percentile and 100 percentile is almost double. Little less than double, but still almost double. That's the difference between 99 percentile and 100 percentile. Same here, 98 percentile here is 66.8. 95 is 54.86 last year. 90 percentile was 45.16. 80 was 41.19. This could obviously change, okay, based on year, but this was last year's percentile. So this will give you a fair idea as to what was the score versus percentile last year. If the paper is tougher, that means the score required to get a percentile will be lower. If the paper is easier, the score required to get a percentile will be higher. As same, now if you look at verbal, total 66 marks paper, 61.66 would give you 100 percentile, 57.32 would give you 99.99 percentile. Even if I want a 90 percentile, I require 23 marks, and a 75 percentile, I would require 15.27 marks. So different marks versus percentile. Same way, if you look at DLR section, 50.6 would have got 100 percentile, right? So there were 20 questions, 60 marks paper. So even a 50 marks would have given 100 percentile. 99 percentile is 37.36, 27.36 marks, and so on. So 80 percentile, 11.67 would have got 80 percentile, which means even if I got 4 questions correct, a little less than a set, and 4 questions correct, one set with 5 questions. When I got 4 questions correct, I would have got 80 percentile. If I got one full set correct, I had a high chance of getting a 90 percentile scaling. And finally, coming to Quant. So if you look at Quant was tougher, so 49 marks, 100 percentile. And if you look at a 90 percentile, required 13.63 marks, around 4.5 questions correct. and 80 percentile was 9.2. A fair idea as to what the marks required for different percentiles as such, right? So I hope this is clear with regards to score versus percentile for the CAT exam. We'll come up with more videos that will help you with regards to preparation for CAT. All the best.